Dharma treasury. And so entering to the Dharma treasury, let me quickly jump to the initial verse. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to the world. Okay, the great vehicle Dharma, which you all understand in terms of all sentient beings. Thus, we all attain infinite meanings, benefit, peace, and joy. Now, these infinite meanings, it's in the Dharma, and the realization of the truth is obviously multifaceted, and in light of that, so you have different meaning to every one of us, and the same words spoken and the same teaching received. So, and that's, if you like, that's a wonder of Dharma, and therefore, when we do that, then we obviously, the benefits are the what that transform us. Now, peace and joy is about being at ease, right? In our life, in our practice, in our journey. But you must understand that being at ease and joy means one walk fearlessly on the path. When one walks fearlessly on the path, then one must be free from fear. So what is this fear that we must be free from? And just trying to reflect back on what Master was saying. That means you're not fearful of death. You're at ease. You're not fearful of returning back to the shore of samsara to do your bodhisattva work. Then you ask yourself, if that is indeed the case, that there is peace and joy, then ask yourself this question: if a bodhisattva would take rebirth, where do you think that the rebirth should take place in this world? And it's an interesting question. Reflect upon that, and then you realize why bodhisattvas take rebirth in places like that. They're sentient beings, role models, and teachers. And obviously, this is living the exemplary life of a spiritual aspirant and to become a role model. So, Master's explanation. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come to the world to spread the principles of enlightenment through the Buddha Dharma of the great vehicle. So, and this Buddha Dharma of the great vehicle obviously is immense because it's infinite meanings. But the good thing about it is that if you realize one truth, and then it will manifest to many other truths, because one will lead to the other. In much the same way, one virtue, if someone is helpful, and then you become caring. If one is caring, you become serving. And then when one is serving, you can get into practice. If one in practice, it goes to renunciation. When the renunciation, we go to harmonization, and then unfold that great loving heart. So therefore, the unfoldment of every virtue, and each virtue will unfold. Each virtue will always come with it a realization of a facet of truth. So our interesting nature of the true suchness is hidden underneath all the karma that we are part of. So many lifetime, and that is called the karmic consciousness, which is in our ape consciousness on the storehouse. So we are, because of all these things, we are confused by worldly delusions and the way we live, and the way we've been brought up. And so therefore, in the path of learning the Dharma, we have to start by unlearning what we have learned from the world. And that's not going to be easy, because our mind is so powerful and our ego is so strong that sometimes it does not allow us to unlearn. So when we do not unlearn, then what happens is that we try to learn, to relearn. So the relearning without unlearning it becomes very difficult because, and then that's where we keep falling back to our habitual tendencies. But that then again, if you then reflect upon that, actually in the context of the Kalpa, this life is so short. And how can we, within this short period of time that we have, to be able to practice? If not, we do not do it earnestly. So problem is we do not know ourselves, and that's the reason why we have to do a self-reflection. We need to have a self-analysis, then we have self-knowing, there's self-correction, then self-development, and so self-unfoldment. And then you've got to commit yourself into the practice, self-commitment. With the commitment, self-commitment, then you get into self-advancement, self-cultivation, self-cultivation, self-advancement, and your self-transformation. Then only then you get self-realization in these 10 steps of self-cultivation or self-growth that we develop ourselves. So in this sutra verse, and this is Master's explanation, which is the crux of the title here, the treasures of all Dhamma, and the treasures. So by practicing provision and skillful teaching, we can call the Buddha's Dharma treasury, the ultimate state of shore. So upholding the Tathagata's profound treasures of the Dharma protects the Buddha's seed of our nature. And this is why, because we need to unearth the Buddha nature within us. For sentient beings, it opens up the Dharma treasury, essentially giving precious merits and virtues, obviously precious merits, and that's why referring to the treasure. So if you look at this, then obviously because in the Dharma, obviously the Dharma or the great vehicle, he opened and reviewed, so certain beings, so that we can realize and enter it. Now, when you look at this particular verse, have you tried to ask, why is this a treasure? I will come back to this. The ultimate state of far shore is, it's very easy to say, oh, treasure because it's precious. I think it's more than that, okay? So the ultimate state of the far shore is the state of noble beings we want to reach from our state as an enlightened being. So that the far shore is the shore of enlightenment. But we must then also not forget that if you are already a bodhisattva or bodhisattva in training, then if you then undertake the vow, you return back to the shore of samsara to help liberate certain being, because that is in your vow, the first vow, right? So this is the great Dharma meeting great Dharma meeting great capabilities. The problem is obviously our capabilities are limited, and we have been unable to accept all the teachings. So Master gave the metaphor of like drinking one bowl's worth of water, but the rest will all be poured out. So therefore we cannot accept all that we have because we have so limited capability. But that doesn't mean that one cannot realize the perfect truth, because one truth will help you to manifest to the others. So obviously then that's the reason why this spiritual journey is one of immeasurable distance, and when we will realize the truth along the way. So back to this question, the treasure. So you see, a treasure is given to us in the form of an inheritance. So therefore, this treasure must first of all be able to be entitled to this treasure. So that it relates back, that this Dharma treasure, it must relate back to your past life. Okay. Now, their treasure, the word you use is Dharma treasury. So then my question is, if it's Dharma treasury, are there other treasuries? Sorry, if Dharma treasury, are there other treasuries other than the Dharma? And I think they are. For one to be practice, to have that, I call it spiritual treasures. The spiritual treasures, in addition to the Dharma, there are also other treasures. For example, isn't the divinity in the Buddha a treasure? Isn't the prayers a treasure? Isn't the order that you are in a treasure? So therefore, if you think about that, all this comes about in these treasures that we are in, be able to enjoy, must come together for to be in a position to be able to practice. Because alone Dharma treasury is available to everybody, right? But why is it that majority of the people in the world cannot take that treasury? So therefore, Dharma treasury must come with other treasures to be in a position to be able to practice. So you think about that, contemplate on that. So then how does one learn our treasures? Because do you understand that? Then therefore, in our next life, if we do come back, we must also have the same treasures. We need to preserve the treasure so that it will remain with us into our future life. So the lessons learned is that the Buddha teaches everyone is the same Dharma, but that or the great vehicle Dharma. But there are only certain amount that we can receive. So therefore, if you look at this, understand that, then you understand why Master lesson that she gave is only bit, little bit, and incremental bit. And that's because it's going to make sure that we receive every bowl of teaching that she gave us, so that we are able to take that in. So, but with all things that's been poured us in the womb, be able to take all these teachings. So obviously, we're very limited and can't progress. Will then be in a small vehicle instead. So there's we are not all can be. So that's the reason why we have to take notes. We must have a spiritual diary, and we need to reflect and count its meanings and what it means. One of my contemplation many years ago. It is meaningful to an individual. It's yet unknown to listen to the same words. So therefore, listen to the Dharma, but the truth lies within you. So we must have the capability to realize that truth, and therefore that's the reason why I must say a couple of lessons ago that we need to contemplate and realize the truth of the Dharma. And without realizing, listening to the Dharma, you will not be able to have the treasures. Dharma, you listen to, but you won't get the treasures. So, in the truth of the Dharma, worldly words cannot easily express. The ordinary mind cannot easily understand, and the world does not comprehend. So, therefore, listen to the silence of the words. So, unless you are able to see, why listen to the silence of the words, so that you're not distracted by any worldly sounds, and that's the purity of the truth can be realized. So on relationship, when the heart is warm and your mind is in the Dharma meaning that is the Dharma of the truth, right? So when your heart is warm and your mind is in the Dharma, in the truth, then giving a warm smile is the gift of humanity. And that's how we want to have a warm relationship with others that spreads the boundless love of mankind. The smile is a gift that transcends the boundaries of all languages, even to one that you do not know. Okay, Thank you, Gan En, brothers and sisters.
Gan En, most Gan En to our great Brother Chin for the marvelous and awesome sharing